move on to our old business and move on to our new business. And first item, motion to advertise for a clerk in the solid waste department. You have a copy of the job description that has to be typed up. This is was an office manager position and changes to a clerk 2 position for the time being until we have time to look a little bit deeper into the department reorganization. But any questions or comments on this before we proceed? Last time I told you I didn't think we need to fill this after doing some, having some discussion with the folks and understanding the process. I think it would be wise to go ahead and fill this position. I think it'll work with all the goals as well. Questions or comments on this? Okay, do we have a motion to approve advertising for this position based off of this description?
Make that motion.
Motion, do we have a second? Any other questions? And this description is very general in a lot of senses. I hope that as we go forward, and once we get to a lot of personnel changes done this year, that we'll be able to get some job descriptions that better tell a lot of the jobs that are done. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Next, we have two boards vacancies that had come open. These were announced, I think, 3 weeks ago. So now we have those that have put in. So first, we'll go with the Cumberland Mountain Water Board, and we'll open the floor for any nominations for that board. Do we have any nominations for the Cumberland Mountain Water Board? Have a nomination from Mr. Arnold. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, if we have none, we'll close that. Since he was the only one that's been nominated, entertain a motion to approve Mr. Arnold for that position.
Make it motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. I realize it does not say the length of the term on here. I will try to get that on future notices here. Next one is for the Healthcare Authority. This is the hospital board. We've had 3 that have put in on this. I think one was a rollover from the previous one. And we have one position. This one will go until September of 2017. It's filling a term that has been vacated by Mr. What's his name? Harry Kinsey. So this was vacated and now open. So we'll entertain any nominations for the Healthcare Authority.
I'd like to nominate Dr. Reichel, John Reichel.
We have a nomination for Dr. John Reichel. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, having none, we'll entertain a motion to approve the only nomination that was brought up. We have a motion.
Make it motion.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I would like to keep the other 2 applicants.
Can we just
Let them roll them over to the next position.
We can. It'd be good to set up. I would say if there's no opposition, we can keep these applications for a year. So if a position does come open within a year after they're submitted, if everyone's okay with that. So we will keep these for this next process in September. We will have 3 more appointments to make in September. Okay. So we have a motion second. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. Next item is regarding a temporary worker at the Parks Department. Mr. Barnes, could you explain that?
Every year we have to hire a temporary person. 6 months we pay out grass. This time to hire one, he can work up to 6 months. It's in the budget for it, so I think y'all just have to approve this way to hire one.
All right. Now, normally, do we have to approve a name for this? I know we changed the rules last year.
I got with Michelle, she says it doesn't have to be advertised.
Right.
Since it's a super.
Right.
I think she said you should pull from
listed.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll take some votes.
Okay, so any questions or comments before we proceed? Since we have discussed this before. Is there a motion to authorize a temporary worker for the Parks Department?
I'll make the motion.
Motion, have a second.
Second.
When will they start? When do you plan on having them start?
Or at least within a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Will they go through the hiring agency, the temp agency?
No. You'll submit a name to it, correct?
I don't think, Wade Michelle thought we'd have to come back with it.
Does the name have to be submitted to the commission?
Yeah, you don't have to advertise. You can use an existing, my recollection of it is that you can use the existing list if there is one, but I think the commission still has to approve who it is. I don't think they can just authorize the hiring, I think that's approved.
So do you have that name tonight? Did you have that name tonight, or did you want to?
No, I have to put it on.
Okay. Okay. So in this case, we can hold off on this if, I don't think there's a need to vote on anything tonight. Okay. So, Mr. Venn, will you withdraw, would you care to withdraw your motion?
I'll withdraw the motion.
Okay. Mr. Guffey, your second?
Yes.
And when you have that name for us, we'll submit that. All right, next item, motion to amend the contract for the boat rental business. You have a copy of the current contract in your files, and Mr. Barnes, could you explain what the change on that is?
Yeah, he was paying for the building and a covered boat slip. He gave up the covered boat slip, which was making $300 a month last year, plus his utility. This year he gave up the covered boat slip, so his contract states it's supposed to go $50 for the next 2 years. So he's wanting to use some of our existing docks, open docks, where we park our transit boats. So I think we talked about the other day, Mr. Vendel and Hodges, $200 would be sufficient for the building and use of the transit boats, 4 spots.
So instead of a covered dock, which was received, he received the building as he has been with the increase as stated in the original contract, plus the use of the transit slip, correct?
Really, the $50 is going towards the increase it's supposed to for the contract, and the $50 is going for the use of open transit.
So the total new contract amount for this year would be
$200.
$200.
Next year would be $250.
$200 a month?
Correct.
That's for 8 months. And that's plus utility.
Questions or comments?
So it dropped $100.
Well, the big part of it was he was paying for the covered slip, that's what they were charging.
That's what I'm saying, so it's $100.
Well, we actually give him the covered slip. He's paying for the building,
Well,
if I remember correctly.
I thought it was in the
My understanding was it was $100 for the building is what we had come up with, and the rest was for the we gave him a discount on the building because it wasn't being used, but the slip would have been used, so we charged him the price of the slip. And what's the slip usually rent for per month?
Well, at that time it was 200, now it's
220, right. So 200 of that original 300 was for the boat slip. So we were renting it for $100 a month, and then that would be $150.
Do we have any shortage of space for the transit? I mean, he's not taking up any usable space.
We have maybe 3 transits a year. That's a long dock, and we never have enough, one at a time. That's it.
That's all we're dropping is and we don't charge for that transit normally, correct? We don't charge for the transit normally, correct?
It's 25.
Oh, is it?
So the building and how many sleeps?
Yeah, he takes, I think he was part 4 boats. It's not using any power or nothing now, it's just parking on the boat.
Taking up slip.
Not a covered slip. We have transit slips, which are, if someone wants to come in and pull their boat in and park it for the night, and then they go to the hotel or whatever else, they can park it there. Or boats that, is that for camping also, or do they have a separate slip for somebody who's out there camping?
Right, they're separate camping.
How many transit slips do we have?
We have, that whole dock is for, I've got enough right now for 2 boats, you know, wired in. When they can play.
But he's gonna take up 4 slots.
Well, he's gonna take up probably a third
Over the dock.
of the dock. And the rest of it's gonna be for transit.
And we don't, again, I mean, has that been an issue, or?
We usually get 1 to 2 transit boats a year, simply because we're so far off.
And this revision to this contract, it'll still terminate next year, right? The contract will still terminate after next season.
Yeah, have one more year with an increase of $50.
We're not extending the contract. we're
Right.
just changing
The terms to take off the boat slip.
I guess maybe I'm just not understanding, that we was at 300, it's supposed to go to 350 this year.
Right.
And just because he don't get a cover slip, it went to 200,
Right.
coverage slip alone was 200.
so that's,
How many boats did he park in the covered slip?
Mostly it's just 1.
And now he's gonna park 4 when we drop it.
Sometimes we put 2 there.
But sometimes they're about 4. Sometimes they're about 4.
You shouldn't have. Just says what he kept in the water last.
God, you seen a large, I mean, the main reason we done this so cheap to begin with was because we were making money off of fuel sales. And we'll see a pretty good increase in our fuel sales. Out of
Some,
hand.
not significant amount.
Last year was the first year to do it, too.
Last year, the first year we did it right.
I think it's a,
I can keep up there for you this year.
I think it's a benefit to the park. It brings folks down there. The building wasn't being used. It's something that we're getting off of it. I don't know, I personally think that you're not losing anything if the transit slip is constantly used, or if we find that there's an issue with, it being used, there's not enough space if we do this. I think that may be a difference. But with the park project going on this year, I just don't see that being an issue. Those transit slips are going to be utilized. So in my mind, it's better to get something rather than nothing off of it. So I feel if we don't do this, we're going to get nothing off of it.
Is this contract, our idea, or was that input into the contract?
He had requested a change in the contract. We talked about the terms at a meeting last week discussing the park project and asked about the terms. So these are the terms that we're talking about to submit to the commission now. And it's understood the commission has to agree to the terms. That was explained. But these are the terms that are recommended based on the conversation that was had.
We had a letter a month ago with some concerns from the folks out there. When you those addressed during this meeting,
Yes, the question was whether or not the individual that's doing the lease actually had to pay for the slip, and that person did pay for the slip year-round. The plan was to pay for it year-round, and that's why we wanted to drop that slip, because he didn't want to have to pay that amount for that slip. So he's actually not been using that slip for the past how long?
Since like September, he subleased it out. Yeah, for a month, and then we, in the park, raised it to this individual.
Our options are to go with this, which, again, that slip is being rented now. Our options would be to go with this, or to, by contract, we could push someone out and take a slip to give back to him. We will have to provide him a slip if we want to stay in the terms of the current contract.
Bottom line, what we agreed to is not changing money-wise because we're still renting the slip out.
Right.
We went up $50, And actually, we're gaining $50.
Actually,
$50 more.
they said it, because
So actually, we're gaining $50 a month. That we wouldn't be gaining if we stay with the contract.
You gain $50 a month.
Yeah.
You're renting the slip out, plus you're
But you
getting.
get $25 a night transit slips, times 4, it's $100 a
But
night.
I can show you, we didn't do it about 3. In all, we've probably done 7 days of training,
Last year.
in a year's time. And one guy stayed a week with us, 5 days, and it wouldn't been that much good. But we're 2.5, 3 miles off the river, and we just don't get some transit.
This contract's only for March through November. Chairman said year round, but the contract said March through November,
Pulled his boats out of the water October the 15th.
and he quit paying for it anyway.
No, it was being rented by someone else as of September, correct?
The covered boats did.
Right.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, so it was being rented by someone else in that time frame. We would
So
have
they
to,
paid you
They take the part.
on top of this. When this contract expired, March through November, they paid you for the other months?
He subleased it out in September, because they wanted to get rid of sleep. I said, okay, until it was up, and then. when
Till
it was
November.
up, the person, the individual came to us, done the paperwork, and he's the owner of the slip right.
so he did, the question that was brought up was, are they allowed to keep their boat there year round without paying for it? They're not keeping their boat there year round without paying for it.
No, he has to pull, his insurance specifies, he's got from March 15th to October 15th, that's all he pays for. And if he don't have insurance on his boat, then they have to go. No,
So December, January, February, the slip's open, and you could rent it to whoever, right?
it's open now, he says he just gave up the slip.
It's being rented now.
It's been rented, yes, it's been rented since day 1.
We would have to pick another open slip or make an open slip in order to comply if we were to give him, if he asked for his slip back, we would have to provide it.
Yes. We haven't lost any money on the slip. We've got money, and we've got money from it.
I think it's an asset. My question was, if the concerns that was brought up by citizens was addressed, and you answered it.
And if there are any others, I'll check to look. I think there are a couple things, but as far as that goes, that was, all those concerns were addressed with this. And it is a good deal, I think, on the building, but it's also what we talked about to do, to see if we can get this business going there, and as it produces more, maybe we'll of course pursue more, once this contract is up.
And also, we'll put the cabins and stuff like that down, we offer a service like that, maybe, hopefully that could draw somebody down to that, It's not really gonna make us or break us right now, but I think once we get all that in, it could help us out.
I think there are a lot of benefits to it.
Motion to make the changes to the contract as long as we don't extend the contract.
Motion to make those changes, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion, questions, comments? And like I said, it won't extend it, it'll still end in 2016, correct?
But the new contract will just be March through November.
This will be strictly an addendum, it'll still be March or November on the rental.
So he does not use the transit slips December, January, February, correct?
And this contract will wind up in October 15th, 2016.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. That concludes the items on our agenda. So we will now, Mr. Barnes, Mr. White, Mr. Mays, Mr. Ford, Mr. Miller.
Yes, I have one question. This Wi-Fi out there, is it working?
Yeah, I think Mr. Hodges had a meeting with Customer Electric Power Board, came out and switched us from a 5 megabytes to a 10. Right, Mr. Roberts?
Yes, and I think they upgraded things.
And they
Somebody
upgraded,
mentioned to me that there were times when it wasn't working, you were paying for the service.
Yeah, I think the problem is the way it's set up. We've got so many hotspots out there, and if everybody gets on Netflix or certain things, it's gonna slow things down. But since we've updated it, it should be better now. I don't know that you'll ever fix the problem wholly, but if there's, we talked with the power board, we're trying to see if we can improve it step by step and see what works. But overall, it will work.
I think they had them all updated, and it's way on some parts for just one lamp, down to 2 parts, so they should have that. And they also can put in bigger antenna. I've not had any complaint on them in 2 or 3 weeks. If y'all do, feel free to let me know.
Anything else? Mr. Guthrie?
Yeah, we're having our community meeting at North Mountain on April 6th at 6 o'clock. Appreciate the papers encouraging people to come out. We need to get as many people from the county to get involved as possible. So we'd like everybody, welcome everybody to come out on April 6th at 6 o'clock, North Mountain.
Anything else? Mr. Guthrie?
We're having my community meeting on April the 20th at the Rosewood Community Center. To invite everybody up
That'll be at 6 as
as
well.
well.
Where is it going to be at?
Rosewood Community Center.
On the 20th,
Anything else? Mr. Levin?
No, sir.
Okay, and to reiterate, on those community meetings, we plan to have all our work sessions out in the county for these community meetings, so we will have our work session followed by the community meeting at both of these locations. Okay, so that is everything. We have a motion to adjourn.
make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.